guys, this is the Mad Reaper. I just wanted to do a quick video on preparation of a head cast, just to show you guys, because a lot of you guys might have not had worked with these before, or this is your first time. But anyways, this is a resin head cast that we sell. This is how it comes out of the mold. Usually I peel these off. But just a couple of quick insights before we go ahead and do this real quick. A couple of things you're going to need is you're going to probably want to needle nose pliers. You might not need it for this part. I like to use the needle tool for sculpting. This is like my right hand guide. It's pretty much like a steel toothpick. And then you're going to want to drill. It's about a 1/4 inch bit, I think. I can't remember. It's been so long. But this is to hollow out the peg. I find this one to be a really good size for getting it on a standard Mattel peg. And last, I would think that all you guys would have this, but if you don't, this is a Dremel. This is one I use. It's the Dremel 7700. I got the little diamond drill tip on there. So this thing's really handy too. So, alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this in real time. So if you guys hear, well, you guys will hear the blow dryer. That's about how long I do it for. So I'm going to apply the blow dryer to right over here. You guys won't be able to see it. But the big thing to note about this resin is that I use really heat sensitive resin, so it's really flexible. It's really rigid right now, but it's really flexible once you heat it up a bit. So here we go. Alright, so you can see it's way flexible now. I'm going to use my pliers. I like to twist off and pull back as I'm getting these ready. And now this is going to be the part where when you guys get your head casts, if you guys are making them or if a customizer is, this is where you're going to want to kind of edit this area. I like to put my sprouts in the like the crown of the head here, to where a lot of the action goes, or like a lot of the swirls of the head goes, so it's pretty easy to hide. And at this point, while the resin's soft, I'll go ahead and kind of cut a little bit of hair into it. I mean, each person has their own way to do this. You guys could completely resculpt it if you want. It doesn't really matter. It's personal preference. Another thing you could do here is use the Dremel and just kind of rough it up a bit to get some hair texture in there. There's a lot of ways to do it. So, alright. The big note is that there's going to be a couple casting bubbles. That's just from the mold. It's either you're going to get bubbles or you're going to get holes. So a lot of these bubbles are easily poked out with the needle tool. And, you know, to be honest, when I'm doing my own personal ones, I don't necessarily go through get each and every single one, just like a lot of the big ones that are immediately noticeable to me. Alright, what I was saying was that I like to use the needle tool here and get some of the bubbles out for my personal cast. I really don't get every single one out, just because like how detailed I have some of this hair sculpted. That's how a lot of the bubbles will take, is that some of the silicone will stay in there, so each consecutive run or each consecutive pull of the cast gets a little more and more worn out, so you'll have a little bit more bubbles. But it's hair, and you know, I really am not that stickler, not that much of a stickler for it. Yeah, so a lot of this little ones here, you can see they're different colored from the previous pulls. Up here there's a few, and if it ever gets like too stiff on you guys, you guys just got to heat it up. It's that's like the biggest trick to this resin here, is knowing that heat helps. And so blow dryer is one of the staples in my studio over here, and I'm always using it. So you can kind of see that yeah, it's looking good now. It's a different color here, so it's gonna stick out a little more. But I could show you guys, I want to show you guys something just because I have the chance to here and it's on video. So I'm gonna go heat it up a little bit more, and I'm gonna try to put a little bit more detail into this here. So just wait. All right. So you can see it's way softer now. And so I'm gonna just put some detail into there. And the main thing that I'm looking for when I do detail is just a bunch of different elevations, so that way when I do my washes or dry brushes, it'll really pop. And actually, when I sculpted this hair from scratch because I hated that everyone using the DDPs. I actually used this tool, so I have a bunch of these. Alright, so now that the head is looking pretty good there, you still have to deal with the bottom here. So if you go ahead and dry fit it, you're going to see that it doesn't sit very good right now. It's pretty ugly, at least for me. Some of you guys might like that. I don't. So what I'm going to do is go a little further into the head here, and I'll show you on my drill. I have a line that I made so that way I can tell from the side how high I'm going into the head. Make sure I don't go too far to drill at the top, and if you do, then you're gonna have to resculpt that. So here's kind of what I do. Make sure to not go too crazy. So you can see it's starting to get more hollowed out here. So let's see how this fits. And you'll probably still have to Dremel it too, but okay. I think we're getting a little higher up there. So this is a little thing I do just to make sure for the depth wise. I can still go a little further, so I'm gonna drill a little bit more. I'm gonna try to do this all in frame for you guys. I've been meaning to do this video, I just have less and less time, so you can see that's in there way better. And so I think what we're getting caught up on in here might be the width of the inside, so this is where I'm going to use my Dremel. Pretty much with my Dremel, it took me a long time to get a hold of this. Some of my first customs are like the heads are glued on, so I'm going to go inside here and I'm going to hollow it out, kind of mimicking the difference of a ball joint. I'm going to try to get thicker and down there while keeping this rim closest a little tighter. So here we go. Right. So depending on how, personal preference, you can make this head really tight like a stock one where it's really hard to take off, and then you would need heat, or you could make it really loose so that you can take it off without damaging it. You start to see it sit a little lower now here, so I'm thinking this is looking a lot better. I can't tell if it's still not in there far enough, so I'm going to try the final step, and if we have to go drill a little deeper, we will. This is all a process of trial and error, and then it's also dependent on the size of your neck peg. I got a smaller neck peg in here. You can see if I used one of these torsos with a longer neck peg, it would start to fit a little better. But one of the things we're running into here is limited by the back hair piece here. But if you guys don't know, this is heat sensitive, you might not be able to do anything with it, but the sides and the back will all respond to heat. So what I'm going to do now is going to blow heat on the inside of this here and really warm up this. It's pretty thin, so it should get pretty flexible. So I'll do this in real time again, just so you guys have an idea. So here we go. Alright, so you guys can actually see it's a lot more flexible. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on here. There you go. And I'm going to push, and I'm going to hold it a little bit. But you can see, now that I'm pushing it on there, we're actually able to mold the plastic a little bit better. And so now you start to see how it sits a lot more flush on a figure. But I think we're gonna go a little deeper actually. Let me see here. Yeah, I think it's about this deep inside here, so there's still a bit more we can go. Again, this is what I mean by cleanup. It's really not hard. It's a hell of a lot easier than sculpting it from scratch. So, and it's gonna get the perfect fit once it's done. So I'm gonna drill it out a little bit more. Probably a dumb idea to do this. I just like to stop if I get too close. So we took out a little bit more resin there. I think that'll be good. So now for depth wise, it's going pretty good. It's just not quite sitting on the back there. So I'm going to need to heat up the back side here a little bit more, just because it's thicker up here. I'm going to want this to flare out a little bit more than it is. So you'll also see that you'll be able to mold the chin and kind of move it to the shape of the neck, whatever neck you're putting it on. So again, I'm going to do this in real time. Stay tuned. Alright, we're going to run fast here. We're going to put it on. You'll see. You might not have been able to see that, but it actually molded perfectly. And so we can tilt the head up a little bit more. My NATO sculpts, this is how I really get it, that back tail part, I like to call it the tail, move backwards. So at this point you can see it'll stay really nice. And yeah, that looks pretty good. So, I mean, that's one of the big keys. I mean, not all resins created equal, but my resin that I like to use is really high quality and it really is heat sensitive. So that's why I prefer it. You guys will just have to test it out. But hopefully this video helped you guys. You can see here how much better of a fit that is compared to where we started. And you guys can move it around too. I mean, if I wanted to go over here and I wanted this hair to touch flat down here, but I wanted the head to sit up a little higher, you can push down the hair with the heat after it's warmed up. You can push it down, and it will stay like that. So, like on this torso, it fits perfectly. Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of things you guys could do. I think this video has gone on long enough, but hopefully that helped you guys. So, again, these head casts, I think there's still some available, but also NATO and my Screaming Omega, they're all available on figuregiant.com. So go follow them on Instagram. Check out the website, www.figuregiant.com. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel here. I don't do a lot of videos, but if you guys start getting more active on here and requesting them, I'd totally be down to do so. So see you guys later.